Good day, everyone. I'm back again today to continue from where we stopped. The first time we looked at, the last time we looked at connecting nodejs with mongoDB using mongoose and express. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to fetch data from our mongoDB compass, and it's a continuation of connecting node.js with mongoDB using mongoose and express. So now I will come here over here and const my user schema. Make sure the schema is when you use user schema is equal to new mongoose. Make sure you put your new, then mongoose dot schema. So the schema you're going to put will have a capital S, yes, as you can see here. So the schema, then you open your brackets, then inside the brackets you're going to have a curly braces that will be having the name and that is the data that you want to fetch, the type of the data you want to fetch. For example, in JavaScript we have variables, and variables have types. So now the data that we want to fetch are variables that we assign a particular value to. So those variables have types. For example, when we go to our mongoDB compass, for example, these users probably is the users we want to fetch the data from. As you can see, we have the name and the age. The name is a string, and age is a number. So those are the type of name is what, a string, and the type of what, age, is what, number. So those are what we need to include in our user schema. So we now use number, which is what, a string, then comma. The next one is the age that we want to fetch to also, which is what, a number. So after doing this, the next thing we are going to do is to come down here and also const our user model there to be equal to mongoose dot model. Then inside we open a bracket, and inside the bracket we'll be having users. Why users? So the reason for these users is because we want to fetch data from our mongoDB compass, and inside the mongoDB compass we have a query called db connect, and inside the query there's a folder called users. So inside the users, that is where we want to fetch our data from. So we need to indicate over here that in our model that okay, it is the user folder we want to fetch our data from. But actually we've already indicated the db connect, that's which is the query in our environment, where we use the mongodb url stroke 0.0.0.0 then semicolon 27017 db connect. So db connect is the name of the query in the mongodb compass we want to call fetch our data from. So let's go back to our app.js. Then over here you do your comma, you write your comma, then user schema. So that means in the user you are referencing the user schema, which is having a number that is a type string and an age that is a type what, number. So when you come here, after doing this, you come here and create your app dot get. So this, in order for you to get a path where the data that is being fetched will appear, so you use your app dot get. Then in your app.get you have what, double quote and a slash. Then you name the path that you want to fetch the data to, which will be, let's name it get users. So inside get users, then we comma, then let's function. Inside our function we'll have our rec and our rest. That's the rec is what, request, and the rest is what, response. So in here let's put async. Let's use an async. An async is a short form of asynchronous. Is used in a function in order, for example, when maybe you want to get data from somewhere, so you want to know, okay, as it's running it should wait for when you should wait for it to fetch the data before it runs the code. So I will also go to Chrome and show you what asynchronous really means, but let's continue our code. Then we'll use our arrow function. So in our arrow function, we are going to use our curly braces, then enter. Inside this curly braces, we are going to const our user data, that is the data we want to get, to be equal to user model. That's this user model that you have const here, over here, user model dot find, then your open bracket. So now after doing this, the next thing you're going to do is what? Your res. Your res will help you to bring the response, like to fetch the data. That is why we are using res, because you are trying to respond to me in regards to my get users. So res.json. JSON is a what? JavaScript object notation. JSON, res.json. Then in here you are giving me what? My user data. So there's something I'm missing. Okay, we are supposed to use await here since we are using an asynchronous function. So as an asynchronous function, okay, run rec using rec and res as passing our function. Then when we const user equal to user.model, so before the codes run, wait for our user model to get our data for us before you run the function. So that's what this async and await is all about. But okay, let's get to know more about it in our Chrome. So let's go to our Chrome. Then in here, I'll ask what is an asynchronous function and await in JavaScript. So as you can see, they said the async function declaration creates a binding of a new async function to a given name. The await keyword is permitted within the function body, enabling asynchronous promise-based behavior to be written in a cleaner style and avoiding the need to explicitly configure promise chain. As you can see, this is will actually be confusing to you, but what it's actually trying to say is, okay, it is trying to give you a promise that, okay, for example, before I run this, before I finish running before I give you a result, I'll have to wait for a particular thing to give me what I need before I give you the result. So that's what it's actually talking about. Let's see this. Async and await make promises easier to write. Exactly. Async make a function return. Async makes a function return a promise. Exactly. Await makes a function wait for a promise, as you can see. So the await, it waits for a promise. Async makes a function make a promise, return a promise, because that async, okay, you are promising me that you want to get the data for me, and await is, okay, I must make sure that, okay, I wait for the data to be fetched before I go ahead to bring out the result. So let's go back and finish what we have started. So now this is the end of the code. Now let's run our code to see. Okay, let me first console.log to see if it will fetch our data in the console. Console.log user data. So let me come here and nodemon. Earlier we downloaded nodemon, which would make it easier for you to just automatically run when you save. Nodemon app app.js. Let's make sure we have saved. Control S. Load more app.js. So let's wait and see if we are actually going to get our data. You can see mongoDB successfully connected, server running at port 8000. You must see this here. So now we will await the data. Let's see if it's going to console.log the data. But before that, let's go to a browser and launch our get user path. So let's go. You have to launch the path before it will console.log it. So we have to launch the path first, because you said app.get then the path. So if you don't go to your browser and enter the path, you won't get the console.log. So we have to enter the path, which is what localhost 8000 get users. Wow, as you can see, we have fetched our data that was in our mongoDB, which is this. So as you can see, it's the same. When we go back to our browser, you can see we have fetched the data ID, the name Sheriff, which is a string, the age, which is a number 24. So let's go back to our console, our Visual Studio Code, to see if yes, it has console.log our data for us in our console. ID, this, a name, string, age, and age number. So thank you very much. I hope you guys have learned a lot from this, and I hope you guys will be able to practice and get more experience in coding. You know, when I started, it wasn't as easy as I felt it was, but we thank God, at least I've taken some step into coding. So thank you very much. Coding is good. Good luck and take care. There's something I want to show you. You can actually browse download an extension called JSON, so that it will beautify JSON. Look, as you can see, I have a file called JSON, so that it can beautify your data for you. But let me go back here. Let me see if I can actually open this with let's not download. I already have. Yes, so as you can see, I have used JSON to make it look more beautiful. And so if you want your own to be viewed like this, you can actually go to your Chrome and look for JSON Viewer Pro and download it to your extension, so that it can make it look more beautiful. You see, this is a tree chart. You can make it a chart if you want. You can see JSON formatted text. So you can see this kind of text input format. So anyhow you want to do it. So thank you very much. I hope you guys. Bye. Love you. Please don't forget to share, like, and follow me on TikTok. And I'll be giving you guys more videos on coding by the grace of God.